Oh, okay. Sorry. Welcome, this is Nathan and welcome back to another video. Today is the finale of Alternative Future of the World Season 2. I wasn't recording. Luckily I didn't finish a video. Oh my god, I probably would have cried. Oh my god, I probably would have cried. I'm so glad I checked. We didn't get far. I'll probably just go fast with it. So, Germany was making an invasion into France. Let me just get Oh my god, if I finished the video and I realised I wasn't recording, I probably would have cried. So yeah, if you're wondering, Spain had collapsed, Mexico had collapsed. They weren't major events. It was more like just the wars. Nicaragua collapsed. And there were some invasions in Brazil, although I might just leave that. Oh, yeah, also these three just completely vanished. It wasn't much. It was much, but I really don't know how long that would have been, actually. I'm sorry, no, I haven't told you. I'm scared it's not gonna... Okay. Manchuria's collapsed. Wait, why did I do that? Blue, it's meant to be red. Anyway, while I'm doing this, there's a three-way war between the Axis, the Allies, and the Order of Peace. It is basically a war to rule the world. Yeah, I know, pretty familiar to the last series. I don't really care. So, if you're wondering, all the countries I'm covering right now are the ones that have collapsed. It's quite obvious, to be honest. Anyway, we didn't get far. Okay, let's continue. So the UK will fully invade Ireland. At this point, British troops are now flooding en masse into France to stop what's happening here. Now, Switzerland does help France make a little pushback, although it isn't working. It really isn't working because Russia's starting to arrive. Russia will probably wipe out Norway and then head down to there, although the Royal Navy is starting to make their way into Norway. But it might be a bit late because Sweden's beginning their massive invasion of Norway. Oslo is sieged within the first few weeks. And before you know it, Norway is now dead. Yeah, the Royal Navy didn't even make it in time. I mean, once you wipe out the areas that are coloured in, Norway's basically just mountains, if we're being legit. Sadly, I don't like saying that. Norway's out of the war, first European country to, I take back my words, second European country to collapse. Germany will try to invade Switzerland, and they surprisingly do get through the shield, although this is their land, so probably that's why they're getting through. Finally, it's the purple team's turn. Their main front is Africa. They don't really have anywhere else. If they had anywhere else in the world, they would have lost it. Papua New Guinea's better to lose. This weird-looking country down here will try to invade Chad, the weakest country on the Axis, if I'm being honest. Wait, is it the Axis? If I'm being honest, it's probably Sweden, actually, because it's... Anyway, they do pretty well until Egypt and Saudi and Algeria get fully mobilized, as well as Ethiopia and all the Middle East. The Middle East have been told, so all of these guys have been told just to focus on Africa. The rest will be left up to Europe will be left to Europe and Russia, and then all the rest of them that they didn't tell have to be dealing with this issue down here. Now, Algeria is not strong at all, really. They're probably one of the weaker ones on the Axis. So, Morocco in this universe is stronger than them. So, they make a push for Algiers. They capture Iran, but they fail at taking Algiers. Shally about this, I got to check. Okay, we're recording. I don't need to check anymore. Sorry. Nobody's invading the Sahara. Like the last series, if they invade that, they're just gonna collapse. It's not worth it. This Swahili country will be invading into here. Although they take Somalia, which is probably the easiest part to take. But Ethiopia itself is too strong for them to take. So it's probably going to be a stalemate down here until Turkey arrives and Iran. Because, well, all this combined is a lot. Speaking of that, the red team, the Axis is now making their way into Indonesia and the Philippines. Japan will make their landing in the Philippines and wipe out all the American bases. They leave nothing behind. And Indonesia will now be getting scared, as Siam has now just made landing and cut Sumatra into two. And they are now struggling with the Japanese Navy, as Japanese Navy is trying to get into Borneo. Luckily, Australian and New Zealander troops are there, but it's probably not going to be enough. Now it's time for what I like to call the Brazilian gangbang. The Americans are now here, and oh wow, this is going to be a massive invasion. The Americans are panicking as they rush into Brazil at a rampaging rate. Now, this is not what you want to do in a war. This is probably going to come back to haunt them, because this is not what you want to do. If anything, you want to take it slow. But obviously, with what is happening in Europe, they want to get Brazil out the way quick, even though they are a very strong member of the Axis. Argentina will try the same thing, even though they're invading the most important parts of Brazil. See, that doesn't go well. Brazil is now going to struggle because they're in a two-front war, but they're going to focus on this part. They send defences down here just to deal with it, because it's kind of annoying. But they mainly focus on the rampaging amount of American troops just running through the Amazonia. I actually just realised this is the Amazon rainforest. Probably not anymore, like the last series, probably just got cut down. So yeah, that's how much progress they've made into Brazil. Looks like a lot, but when you realise, it's just Amazon rainforest and Peru. Europe is beginning to look worse and worse for the Allies, as France is now struggling, as Switzerland is now retreating their troops. Yeah, France is now struggling. There's just too many troops too quick at once. We now see the encirclement of Paris, which is a very beautiful fight, as there's a lot of British and French troops there. But sadly for the rest of France, most of the British have left, except for the ones that got trapped in Paris. After a very, very battle with over 500,000 deaths, Paris is captured, and France is knocked out the war. Yeah, Portugal just surrenders. Probably for the best. They don't want their people to be suffering. Actually, they will be suffering. They won't be suffering with a destroyed country, at least. This will bring Spain back into the war. So yeah, this brings back Spain into the war. I don't know what's happening with the map. I'm glad this series is over, because this is a very weird map right now. Switzerland is going to try and hold off for everything, although their shield is being damaged a lot. And yeah, the Axis is overpowering the Allies. Oh no! Guess what's here? A bunch of German troops that are about to steamroll for Africa. Yeah, you know it'll be short-lived. The Order of Peace is going to be wiped out. Yeah, a bunch of troops are about to just start rolling through all these countries. And when I mean a lot, I mean millions upon millions of troops just going through these countries like nothing. This Saharan Union's gonna be taken out like nothing. And at this point, the Order of Peace is now starting to regret even deciding to be on their own side. It probably would even be better off if they were on the Allies' side. The Order of Peace want to show that they weren't a weak alliance and they could fight against, the big ones. But with this, about over half of their alliance has been wiped out. The only things that remain is Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Madagascar, the East African Federation, I'm calling it that, Angola and South Africa. That's literally that. Well, okay, that I completely forgot about that. That was meant to be wiped out a long time ago. Now, when you look at this map, the Axis is dominating like mad. It's obvious. It's sad. The Order of Peace is just gonna give up. So if anybody's room for the Order of Peace, you should probably switch sides now, because, well, they don't exist for you to root on them, and they won't come back. The Axis doesn't even control this land. They actually just... there obviously are a few thousand troops going into the land to take any people hostage. But, obviously, it's nothing. Now, with Africa completely falling, and by looks of Oceania and Europe about to fall, Switzerland is starting to think back to the last seasons, and the president who started the time machine is obviously dead by now. If he was alive, I would not know how. He would probably be 1,000 years old. He's dead. He died around part 3 of the series, if you guys are wondering. Same with the Romanian guy. He died a little bit after the war ended. He was around he was 140 something. Yeah, the lifespan of Switzerland is a long time now. It's averaging around 200 and 300 years. Switzerland may be overpopulated, but that's fine. Meanwhile, for the rest of it, it's like Monday, kind of. I wouldn't say Monday. It'll probably be a little bit more than Monday, maybe 140, 160. But they're starting to get deja vu as all sides are beginning to fold in. Indonesia loses Borneo and Java and Sumatra, which is just going to lead to them completely surrendering. And at this point, it's Australia versus the Axis, and the Navy is not even a joke. The Axis Navy is going to destroy the Australian Navy. Switzerland is worried. Luckily, though, not like it's going to be a game changer. Brazil just got captured by about 5 million troops. And Brazil decides that nobody's going to be able to get to them in time before more people die. So instead of letting all the people die, even though they probably wouldn't care, for the government's sake, I would say, they just surrender. So Brazil is now out of the war. That's probably the biggest country other than France. But it's a bit late, because, well, looking at this map, the order of peace is gone, and the Axis is dominating. American troops are now arriving in... the British Isles. So, the American Navy is also here, so this is almost impossible to get into. Sadly for Switzerland, they're surrounded by the Axis, like they were in World War II. As more and more gruesome years go by, the final blow on the Allies is Australia losing Canberra, which sadly kind of just leads to a big destruction of Australia, leading to them surrendering. They will take Tasmania before they enter into New Zealand, who just opts to surrender peacefully instead of being invaded. And now we have a stalemate. The Axis can't make it to the Americas or the British Isles, and same thing goes for the Americans and the British Isles. They can't make it over here. So stalemate, right? They've managed to stalemate. The Axis can't get to the Allies. They've won, haven't they? Well, none of them have won. There's been like at least 1 billion deaths by now, but you would assume that this is a stalemate. I mean, if you want to say it, the Axis won because they have more land occupied, but it's a stalemate. So both sides won. They would just have to get a peace treaty done. That's what the Allies offer. They even offer to completely change their governments. That's not what they want to do. Back when that, going on about, back in the beginning of the series, who ruled Germany, he is dead by now. Again, I would not want him alive. He made some special documents about what they figured out about Switzerland so that the future people would know what to do about Switzerland. Because obviously they figured out in part 1 about all stuff like invading the Soviet Union would make the downfall, Japan attacking Pearl Harbor would lead to the downfall of the Axis, which is why we're here. They don't fully know, but they know what the guy wrote down. You know who I'm on about. So, Switzerland will evacuate their troops from Switzerland, making Switzerland very confused, because they're winning. Why would you evacuate your troops? The reason is, they know about the time machine. The guy who ruled Germany in the beginning of the series didn't know about, that, but they do. So they send... Basically what happened is they sent spies in, they figured out that there's a time machine in Switzerland which is still working. It had to be fixed every now and then. This was mostly told by the guy in Romania, but he died, so only Romania knew. So Romania did eventually tell the Axis, but it was already too late. They figured it out by themselves. So they have a meeting in Berlin with the top 3, Russia, Romania, and Germany. They discuss what to do about this, and their decision is to infiltrate Switzerland. I'm not going to say what they want to do, but over 100,000 troops, spies, not really troops, they're more, not really spies, 100,000 troops will enter into Switzerland through a weak point of the shield. They will get into Bern, the capital of Switzerland. It might have changed, but Bern will be the one we're using, without anybody noticing, so they haven't occupied any land. But once they do get alerted about, it's already too late. They're at the place where the time machine is held. Don't know how they got... The time machine is held in the government base, obviously. That's obvious. The people of the country didn't know about time machine. Only the people from... Obviously, the only people that knew were not allowed to say anything, otherwise they'd be executed, because, they knew what was going to happen. Once these 100,000 troops get in there, they self-destruct the time machine. Yes, they self-destruct the time machine. Now this self-destruction, you don't think it'll be that big, right? No, it's so big that inside the shield, Switzerland is completely destroyed. Now this screen is to represent like the time juice. Switzerland is completely destroyed and just demolished. Now that was the place the explosion happened. All those 100,000 troops just died. What they didn't know is some idiot activated time machine. Yeah, some idiot activated time machine before it self-destructed. So, with a massive explosion, yeah, you might know what happens. This map, it's alternative future World War II, but the date they had was present day, 2024, well, not really, 2024, March 2nd. Wouldn't be that exact date, but I guess we're going off that. But, obviously, with them self-destructing the time machine, it's gonna mess stuff up. It won't be our modern world. So, just like the last series, but only, this is gonna be way worse than the last series. The entire Earth is slowly but surely getting engulfed by this time juice. I don't know what to call it. Waves upon waves of the time machine just engulf the world. Now, unlike last series, nobody even knows about this. Nobody knows because nobody started to alert them. No nukes, no nothing. It was just the time machine being self-destructed. Sadly, there's nobody left that can really fight this back. So eventually, the world is basically destroyed. The entire world, including the universe, the entire world is engulfed in a green cloud. Not the green cloud you know, it's the entire world has been sucked into the new world, basically. Although the only country that'll be there is Switzerland, because the explosion that would send, obviously, you know, the country into the future is going to be Switzerland, although nobody's going to live in it. So, after the major explosion, there's still some land remaining, but hardly anything. The explosion destroyed most of the land. This is the land that's remaining. The greenness going into the countries is basically just places where you can't live. There's nobody living on this earth, by the way. It's a wasteland. If anything, the only place there might be people living is, like, around here. Just maybe, like, here. But other than that, if anybody is living here, then they would only be in those two places. Because, well, the Earth is now destroyed. And what's left will not be living for much longer, as it is completely and utterly sucked into a random place, with random countries that were from the past. Completely destroying the entire world. Anyway, why did I do that? Anyway, I want to thank you guys for supporting this series, for how long it's gone on for. And I'll see you in Season 3. Or maybe the last. I don't know if Season 4 will ever happen. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in Season 3. Whenever that comes. Bye.